Why play Braum Support? Well, he has a massive AoE knockup, he also brings tons of stuns, his disengage is amazing, and he's amazing at keeping his carry alive. However, he can get poked out by lane bullies, and he lacks any agency, really relying on his team to get anything done. Braum's passive is his basic attacks and Q apply a stack of concussive blows to the target. After applying this the first time, Braum or any of his allies can attack that target to give it another stack. At 4 stacks, all stacks consume to deal damage and stun the target. For a short time after, Braum cannot apply his passive again, but his attacks deal additional damage to the target. Braum's Q is a straight line skill shot which deals damage to and slows the first target hit. Braum's W causes him to dash to an ally, putting himself between him and the closest visible enemy champion. Upon arriving, both him and his ally are granted bonus armor and magic resist. He can also cast this on just himself to gain the tanky stats. Braum's E causes him to create a shield in the chosen direction, granting him bonus movement speed and ghosting. The shield intercepts all projectiles trying to pass through it and deal reduced damage to Braum instead, and the first instance of damage he takes is fully reduced. Braum's ultimate hits in a large circle around him and then in a straight line skill shot away from him. Enemies hit by this are dealt damage and knocked up. It then leaves this area on the floor and enemies within it are slowed. For combos, jump to an ally with W into your E. Follow up with an auto attack into Q before spamming away with more attacks. And when team fighting, use W to jump into the mix before using your E and ultimate. After this, just keep trying to apply your passive to as many targets as possible. For matchups, Braum is amazing into engaged champions, easily keeping them off his carry. However, he can struggle into lane bullies constantly poking him out. For runes, take this. Guardian keeps your carry even more alive. For build orders, start World Atlas and Pots into a Locket and Tier 2 boots. After this, a Knight's Vow and Frozen Heart are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start Q then E then W before maxing Q then E then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Ignite. Exhaust also works well. For synergies, Braum is amazing with hyper carries, keeping them safe so they can scale well into the late game. Starting the game, your main focus as Braum is to make sure your ADC gets as much farm as possible. Braum's engage isn't the best, and you also don't have a ton of kill threat compared to other lanes. This often means you just want to have a neutral lane. So if they're poke heavy, you want to buy boots early and avoid it. If you're against hard engage, you want to stay near your carry and make sure that you're always the one getting engaged on. And if you're against more enchanters, you're happy to have a neutral lane. That said, always be poking away with your Q. And when you get a gank, make sure you position yourself to get your passive off. When you hit level 6, your ultimate is actually quite good engage. Otherwise, you can save it for disengage for a free get out of jail card. Enter in the mid game, take your tower as soon as possible and rotate mid with your carry. Keep them safe while they siege and rotate to objectives. Entering late game team fights, you can play as your team's frontline. Your ult is incredibly disruptive between its knockups and creating a massive slow zone on the floor. Otherwise, you can just play with your carry, always keeping yourself and your shield between them and danger. Apply your passive to as many targets as possible, and use ult for even more peel. And that's how to play Braum Support. If this video helped you, leave a like and comment below on who you want to see next.